So I've been taking my individual training sessions seriously for the last 5 years now, and there's been times where I use my headphones to listen to music, listen to podcasts, and there's also been times where I literally just didn't use anything. I just trained without any headphones. So today I'll be talking about whether you as a footballer in your individual training sessions should be using headphones to listen to music, or you should not be using headphones and just lock in and just focus on your training. The first thing I want to say about listening to music is that through my experience, it's a great way to motivate yourself on the days where you're not motivated to train at all. The thing is with music is that music just has a way to just shift your emotions. You could be feeling down, depressed, you could be feeling like you don't want to train, and then you put on some, aggressive music, some music that gets you hyped, or whatever music you like listening to, and it just gets you hyped, it gets you in the zone, and it just sort of makes it easier for you to get motivated. This could be for football, for the gym, for going on a run, even going to school, even walking to school. If you just don't want to go to school that day, you put on your headphones, you either get on the bus, or you're walking to school, you start to feel a bit better, you understand? Music just has a way of doing that. So in my opinion, music is a great way to motivate yourself before the training session, you understand? Before the training session, if you're feeling unmotivated, you're feeling like, I really don't want to do this, before the training session, let's say you're walking up to the pitch or walking up to wherever you want to train, put in those headphones, lock in, and just use them as a tool. In my opinion, your headphones should be used as a tool before the game, you understand? Before the game, before the training, to get you in the zone, to get you hyped, to get you excited to actually go train, you understand? Because you don't want to go train and you're depressed, and then your sets and your reps just aren't good, you're not focused, all you're thinking about is going home. You understand? You don't want to be in that mode where you just want to go home. So put on your headphones to motivate you beforehand. And even in the warm-up, in my opinion, if in the warm-up you're still not feeling it, keep your headphones in and just get your touches in, warm up, stretch, just get your body warm, break up a sweat, you understand? So in my opinion, headphones are a great way to actually get your training underway, get you to the main part of your training session. However, in my opinion, once you actually have finished the warm-up, you've broken the sweat, you've got all your touches in, you've had a few shots on goal, you've taken a few touches, you've dribbled with the ball for about 10 to 15 to 20 minutes, and you're all warmed up, in my opinion, you should take your headphones out for a number of reasons. I'm going to explain why I think you shouldn't train with headphones for the main bit of your individual training sessions. Now, the first point about why I think you shouldn't use headphones in the main part of your training sessions has to do with something I said in the last bit. It's your emotions. I feel like I said before, music has a way to get your emotions all over the place. So, in my opinion, let's say you're training your shooting. Let's say you're training your shooting, you're working off of both feet, your right foot and your left foot. Whatever one's your weak foot, you really have to focus and lock in on your weak foot, you understand? You really have to focus on the strike, because obviously you're not as good on your weak foot as you are on your strong foot. And by the way, if you want to improve your weak foot, click the link below and get the course, you understand? The course to improve your weak foot is only £50. I personally think it's a steal. It should be like £250, you understand? I'm putting you guys on, I'm giving you guys drills to improve your weak foot so you can actually see me play, you understand? So you know that I'm not just a guy who just stands here, talks on camera, so you actually know that, I'm the real deal, that I can actually play football, and I'm not just a guy who's standing here and just basically talking nonsense, you understand? If you want the proof, then go get the course, £50. You get drills for shooting, passing, dribbling, whatever you need to do, you understand? Things outside the football pitch as well that'll help you with your weak foot, things that no other YouTuber's talking about. So, if you want to learn how to improve your weak foot, get the course below. Trust me, you won't regret. Comes with clips and everything to show you which drills you need to do for which specific areas of your game you want to train. But however, if you want to improve your weak foot, let's say you really have to focus on the strike, you understand? You have to focus on the strike. Let's say you're right footed. When you're striking the ball with your left foot, you really have to focus on the strike. But if you've got headphones in and you're listening to like aggressive music, let's say you're listening to NBA Youngboy or something, you're listening to Youngboy, you're hyped, you're in the zone. Instead of you focusing on the strike, you might be feeling a bit excited, you understand? Because you got the headphones in, you're feeling a bit excited, and that forces you to, let's say, lean back on the strike, get too excited, overhit the ball, and now the ball's flying over the goal. It's flying over the fence of the Astro, you understand? And your reps just won't be as good because you're not focused on the strike. Same as like dribbling. Let's say you're dribbling in and out of the cones, you're trying to change direction. However, you're just out of control because, you're too hyped, you're too aggressive, so you're trying to go in and out the cones quick, faster than you actually should, you understand? And then you're just knocking over the cones, or your turns aren't as sharp, or what's it called, your touches are too heavy because you know what I'm saying, you're trying to do everything fast. You're in that zone, you're listening to whether it's drill music, US drill, UK drill, you're just listening and your touches are too heavy because you're trying to do everything fast because you're hyped, you're excited, you're in the zone. You don't have that focus to your game where you can just steady yourself a little bit and just make sure you're doing your drills perfectly, you understand? So I feel like it just has an effect on your drills in that case. It might not even be, you know, aggressive music. It could be, you know, the sad music that people listen to, like XXX Tentacion, people listen to, who else? Rod Wave, you know, all these guys who just promote sad music. Yo, you might be in a zone where you need to get hyped, you need to, you know what I'm saying, you need to get hyped, you need to get excited, you need to lock in, and you're there in your feelings listening to Rod Wave, you understand? So I feel like with the emotions thing, like I said, it's a tool to use it before your training session. However, once you get to the main bit, yo, you just need to lock in and focus. You don't want your emotions all over the place. You want to be consistent and just consistently locked in. So that's the first point about why I feel like you shouldn't use your headphones in the main bit of your individual training sessions. My second point as to why you shouldn't be listening to music during the main bit of your individual training sessions is simply that you get distracted. You can't be getting distracted and be having times where you're using your phone for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you know, you tell yourself that you're taking a break in between sets, in between reps, but then you end up using your phone for 10 to 15 minutes and you're just not locked in, you understand? Which will lead to your training sessions feeling way longer than it needs to be, you understand? It's feeling way longer than it needs to be, and then guess what? You're unmotivated to go the next day because in your head you think, oh, the training session, oh, it's 2 hours, you understand? I don't want to go out there for another 2 hours like I did yesterday. Whereas realistically, if you just put the phone down, that 2-hour training session could be cut down to an hour and a half or even an hour 15, you understand? So that's just one point. And then the next point about getting distracted is that maybe you're changing the song. Maybe you've got Spotify, you've got Apple Music, maybe you've got YouTube Music as well. You're changing the song and then guess what? You're having to stop to change the song because maybe you don't like the song that's currently playing, you understand? And then another thing as well, whilst you're on your phone, notifications from other social media sites, Snapchat, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Maybe you don't even get the notifications, but you just get the urge. You just see the apps on the home screen of your phone, and you just get the urge to you just get the urge to check. You're like, who's texting me, who's this? Because obviously it's just natural, it happens to all of us. We want to see, you know, what's going on. You want to see if anyone's texted you, if your friends have texted you, if that girl's texted you, you understand? You want to just have a look. You tell yourself, alright, cool, I'm going to have a look. You go onto, let's say for example, you go onto Snapchat, you just say, alright, cool, I'm going to have a look if anyone messaged me. You see that nobody's messaged you, but then guess what? You swipe right 2 times, and then you start looking at everybody's story. Oh, what's this person doing? What's this person doing? You start viewing everyone's private story, and you're just like, yo. And it just gets to the point where it's like, oh, it's Instagram even. You go onto Instagram, check your notifications. Next thing you know, you're on the explore page. 10, 15 minutes. So you're just not locked in. You understand? You're not locked in. And then guess what? You're gonna look at the time. You're gonna be like, alright, cool. Why is my session taking 2.5 hours? And then you're gonna be like, yo, this has to stop, and that might demotivate you. However, if only you knew that going on your phone is costing you 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe even 45 minutes if you're taking that long, you understand? You could easily cut that down if you simply just put your phone down and just locked in for just the main part of the training session. Warm up, pre-training, it's calm, but the main bit, just lock in, because like I said, it can cut down your time tremendously. And then my last point as to why you shouldn't use your headphones and listen to music during the main part of your individual training session is that obviously when it comes to your individual training sessions or even team training sessions, you want to make things as much realistic as possible. And obviously it's common sense that you're not going to be using headphones while on a match day whilst you're on the pitch, you understand? You have to be self-motivated. You have to sort of get that drive on the pitch from yourself. You have to be self-motivated. It's not like tying your laces where you call the ref and you say, yo ref, I need to do my laces. Or it's not like that. You can't just be like, hey yo ref, you know what, during this match I'm feeling a bit demotivated, my team are under pressure, we're about to concede a goal, or we have conceded a goal, we're getting dominated. Hey ref, just give me 2 minutes, let me put in my headphones so I can listen to music to get me in the zone, to get me playing better than I currently am. Obviously you can't do that, you understand? You have to find it from within. So yeah, literally it's just not match realistic. You have to get used to, you know, not getting distracted by your phone, you know what I'm saying? Even if you feel bored, even if you're like, let's say you're resting in between sets, even if you feel bored, you just have to just train your brain to just stay in that pocket, you know what I'm saying? Just train your brain to stay in that pocket of like, alright, cool. I'm tired, I'm taking a rest, let me not look at my phone. I can sip a bit of water, have a bit of Lucozade, but let me just not look at my phone. You understand? Train your brain to just be able to get past those moments where you're tired, or even when you're bored during your individual training sessions. You understand? Because in a match, like I said, you can't just go on your phone for distractions, because there's gonna be times in a match where maybe you're bored, maybe you haven't got the ball in a while, but you still have to focus. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's a time in a match where your team haven't touched the ball in a while, and you just have to just constantly focus on just sort of closing off passing lanes. Let's say the other team's just bopping the ball about. You have to focus on just closing passing lanes, whether you're a centre midfield and you're constantly just having to shuffle to one side as a team, just left to right. Maybe you're a fullback and you just always have to just check your shoulder, just watch what the winger's doing. Is he going in short? Is he spinning in behind? You don't want to be the guy who loses concentration in a variety of different, in a variety of different situations on the pitch, whether it's from a throw-in that you're letting your man receive the ball easily, whether it's from a goal kick, whether it's from a corner where you're marking your guy and then all of a sudden he's gone because you lost focus, whether it's, like I said with the fullback analogy, whether it's your wingers made the run but you lost focus, you were ball watching and you forgot your man, he's running behind and he scored, you understand? So you want to train your brain to just be able to get through those periods in your individual training sessions where you're bored. Even if you get that urge, you might get that tingle, you might get that urge to, check your phone, do something, but in my opinion, train your brain to lock in as is match realistic, you know what I'm saying? So that's the end of the vid. Like I said, I would recommend you using headphones beforehand to get you hyped in the zone, and then obviously using it in the warm-up just to, get you warmed up, get you ready, and then as soon as that's done, take off the headphones and just lock in and just focus on whatever you need to do. Whatever aspect of the game you're working on that day, just lock in, just focus on your reps. But that's the vid for today. Let me know what videos you want to see next. I hope you enjoyed. I've been JT, and I'm out.